Magu Zion Show. Excuse me. Divine marijuana brings immortality. So, on this video, I just wanted to talk a little about the I-Ching. As some of you may know already, because I've mentioned it a few times, that my Kannabis Kung-Fu, which is rightfully called divine, like divine marijuana, divine cannabis Kung Fu is based on what's called the I-Ching, just like the name of the temple over there with all the Chinese stuff. It's called I-Ching Tao Temple of Infinite Harmony. So we'll get into what all that means another time. But right now, now basically, I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff, but basically there are 8 parts to success in the Tao. When you study the Tao, you in a Tao, another Taoist or people that's into the Tao will call you either a cultivator of Tao or what's the other word? Shoot, I was just thinking about it. But anyway, it slipped my mind for right now. But anyway, so the first parts of what I'll be talking about, when I show you the Bagua, I don't have it handy here. Oh, here it go. So when I show you the symbol of Tao, as I said, each one of these trigrams has a practice and has a meaning in the Tao, the I-Ching. So I will be reading a lot from my teacher's book, Dr. Stephen T. Chang. I'll be reading from his book, The Great Tao. And I will be using the explanations of the I-Ching from this book, because this is where I first learned about the I-Ching. Now, on another video, I just showed that there are different versions of the book of I-Ching. So, like I said, since this was my first one, I'm going to use this one to explain. So, what I mean by that is, I bought some I-Ching cards, right? See, I-Ching at the top. And this was the deck of cards that I brought. Now, my teacher, Dr. Stephen T. Chang, he calls the I-Ching the Tao of Success. And it says on here, the I-Ching is the secret to all success, financial, political, marital, etc. It reflects the changes that are operating in all levels of the universe. So when I be talking about, when I point over to the southeast and I'm saying, well, I'm going to talk about wealth over there, I didn't make it up. It's part of the Tao. Now, the thing about the Tao is that it covers all areas of life. That's what you're going to see after watching this program for a while, because I'm going to talk about food, I'm going to talk about sex, I'm going to talk about that a lot, especially here. Oh, I forgot to say welcome to my bed chamber. That's why I got all the Egyptian stuff. Anyway, so we're going to talk about how I'm going to do the I-Ching. So the formula that he has in here for success is S equals P plus O. And what that means is S is success is the sum of P, preparation, and or plus opportunity. So if you prepare by doing, by using the I-Ching daily, in other words, you say, well, what should I do today? You don't know. Let me put it another way. You shouldn't become dependent on anything. What am I going to do today? And that's your answer, and then you're going to try and make that happen. No, that's not the way it works. You do yourself a reading for the day, and then you look at the reading, you're like, well, that don't sound, you got to go by your feelings. Some of the readings might be exact on, you say, well, this is what I'm going to do today, and some of them might be like, this isn't a exact science, but each of the hexagrams that I'm going to talk about is exactly, the explanation for it is exactly to the point. But the readings might not be on point all the time, like 100% of the time, until you get really good at it. You understand? Then you do a reading for yourself, and you're good at it. You know what you're talking about. It's probably going to be on point. So anyway, so I bought these cards, right? And on the front of the cards, like we're going to start off with the first one. Let me hold it this way. So this is the first one. I don't know if you can see it so good, but that's called a hexagram. In other words, a hexagram is made up of a trigram, trigram at the top and a trigram on the bottom. So the trigram at the top is considered heaven because it's on top, and the trigram on the bottom is considered earth. So you always start out with heaven and earth, and then everything else everything else is in between heaven and earth. So it's the same thing with my form. I'm going to start out with the heaven fist and heaven stance, and then the earth fist and earth stance, and then we're going to go into the rest of the form, which I call the form of no form. So I got these cards, I was saying, and on the front it has the hexagram, but on the back it has the nothing gram. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, so if I do a reading, I still have to go to the book because this is how you do a reading. Let's talk about it. So if I wanted to do a reading, I have to, I think I showed them. I have 3 coins, right? And you throw these 3 coins to get one line of the hexagram. So it starts from the bottom up. You throw 3 coins. It tells you the first hexagram. Now you throw it 6 times and you get all of the lines. Now when you get the hexagrams, when you finally get to the hexagrams, you go to the book, and in the book, I need that now. In the book, it has all of the hexagrams one by one, right? And an explanation for it, and blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, so what good are the cards if I still got to go to the book to get the explanation? I haven't memorized like all 60. Like this would be good if somebody memorized all 64. All they do is look at the hexagram and say, well, this hexagram means that you're going to be super rich within the next 25 years or something, whatever. It's not a tarot card. Let's get that straight. This is way, 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 way deeper. Way, way, way deeper, believe me. So you go to the book and you find the explanation for the hexagram, and that's the reading. Now, depending on how the hexagram is, you might have to do another reading sometimes. Sometimes the first reading is it, but sometimes you might have to do a second reading. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole process. But what I wanted to talk about with these cards is, I like to do things with my hands, ladies. Anyway, so I'm looking at these cards and I'm sitting here in the bed. It's like going on 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, what am I going to do? So I said, okay, there's nothing on the back of these cards. Why don't I just sit here and write the meaning on the back of the cards? So like I said, you always start out with This is the heaven hexagrams. 3 solid lines. 3 solid lines. That's a trigram. 6 solid lines. A trigram on top, a trigram on bottom. And in Earth, this is heaven, and this is Earth. Earth has 6 broken lines. So you can see there the two opposites. This is yin, and this is yang, not yang. All right, yin, yang. So, since I like to do things with my hands, I said I'll sit here and write the explanations on the back of the cards. Bam! So what I gotta do now, since I done started already, I did these two, and now I'm doing a video. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take each card, find the general explanation. I'm not putting the whole, find a general explanation from the Great Tao, and write it on the back. So we start out with heaven. Heaven is pretty short. Number 1, Chien, which means heaven. This is a general guideline to the attainment of success. So this hexagram is a general guideline to the attainment of success. And then it goes on a couple of pages just to explain this one hexagram. So the opposite of that is yin, or the earth hexagram. And on the back of that one, which is it's called Kun, or earth, number 2. The earth is peaceful, motionless, and quiet. Learning the wisdom of the earth can help a person overcome any disaster. So I have 62 more cards to do, and I think that's all I wanted to talk about on this video. So like I said, this is going to be a general guideline I'm going to use, because I made my book based on when I went to school learning this book, but I changed some things, and I explain all that on another video. So like the first part, for instance, he talked about mostly political stuff, where I go into meditation. So there's some differences in there. I'll explain them as we go. But this is going to be the main book that I deal with as I start to teach the Tao. And yes, part of the Tao, or one of the books, is the what I call Gu Fu, or Divine Kannabis Kung-Fu. So we're going to talk a lot about cannabis. You got, so far I just mentioned, recreational smoking, but then you got the healing medicine, but then you got the spirituality part. So, throughout the course of these discourses, I'm going to, go back and forth to the Magu stuff. All right, so that's it. Let me get to it. I got that many more to do. So I got to cut out a piece of paper, tape it to the back, and then write the explanation on the back. So I guess I'll be up for a while. But for now, I'm out. And I ain't had no theme music, man. My theme music is on my laptop, and I didn't feel like doing all that. I'm out. Peace.